If you love to travel, you are going to need a travel agent. And if you want the best travel agent, you are going to need Boully's Travel. Boully's Travel can help you with any kind of holiday wherever you want to go in the world, taking care of every last detail. From package holidays through to fully customized itineraries where you are completely in control of where you go and what you do. And the best part, there are no charges whatsoever. Rated excellent on Trustpilot. Start your next adventure right now by going to booliestravel.com. Hello and welcome to another one of our series on Canada. And today we are going to be jumping right in with Vladimir Jean-Gilles from Ottawa Tourism. Hi Vlad, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very well, my man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm feeling great, buddy. I'm feeling great. Having a good day. The sun is shining out here and it's been absolutely glorious day. It's been glorious. Yeah.
Love it.
Could you just tell us a little bit about your background, Vlad? How you ended up getting into tourism?
Yeah, it's interesting how I got into tourism. So my background, I'm Haitian. I'm from Montreal. I got to Ottawa when I was about 14 years old. It was my father's dream to have us move from Montreal to come to Ottawa for some new perspective, new opportunities in the future when we were a lot younger. And my background is I have a background in journalism and entertainment journalism, especially. So I've represented Ottawa as a film critic at the Critics' Choice Association in Hollywood. I've been a radio host in Ottawa as well. So my media audience has always been predominantly from Ottawa. And eventually transitioning into representing Ottawa in media via the work that we do here in tourism at Ottawa Tourism is definitely one of the peak experiences that I've had so far. So that's a very brief summary of how I got into tourism, but that's the essential for the most part.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I had no idea you did a whole media side into radio and all that other stuff as well. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So yeah, how would you, if you had to describe Ottawa to anybody who's never been before, not with facts, but with your feelings, really, how would you sum that up for us, Vlad?
Ottawa is Canada in one city. You get to see Canada is a very diverse country, both in heritage and in culture. We have a Francophone heritage, an Anglophone heritage, an Indigenous heritage, an Irish heritage. And then on top of that, you have the culture that's added from everybody from all around the world that adds on to the diversity of Ottawa. So really of Canada in general. So when you come to Ottawa, you really get to see all the different, through our experiences, but also through the people that you're going to encounter, how metropolitan we are, and get to see all the different aspects of us that makes us who we are. You know what I mean? We're united people through our differences and through our different origins, but there's that feeling. That's what being Canadian is all about, right? You get to experience all that within Ottawa. Ottawa really represents all of that, the entire color spectrum of Canada in one place.
Fantastic. Cool. And for you now, to try and get like a personal moment, just one moment in time, maybe a memory or something that sums up what Ottawa really means to you.
Honestly, it's moving here. I'll tell you more. We're probably going to visit that topic a little later on, but I came to Ottawa on July 1st. So I arrived here during Canada Day. And my first time experiencing Ottawa was during Canada Day with my parents and my little brother. And it's quite an introduction to the city. It's quite unique. Also, the beginning of our new life and just seeing how different but yet similar it was. All the ways in which it was similar and different. I'll always remember that moment when life really changed for us and we arrived to Ottawa.
Yeah, you told me this one before, and it brings everything to life so much, and there's so much detail in this for you. I just see like your whole face light up every time you talk about it. And you're saying when you arrived on Canada Day, what was that like for you? And you like strolled in. What was going on? What was happening?
Honestly, it was because I had seen it on TV before, but it was my first time being on the hill during the celebration and watching all the red and white colors out there and how big of a celebration it was and also how lively the city was. And one thing that really blew me away, on top of the music, the festivities, the amount of people from all around the world who are walking through downtown, it's also like the next day, how quickly they are to clean it up. You wouldn't even know that there was a big time celebration happening downtown the day before. They really clean it up. So I was really blown away, and also by the We talk about the Canadian identity a lot and understanding what it means to so many different people when you get there. It's something unique. And again, if you want to experience Canada in one city or one event, Canada Day is definitely the one to get started with.
Yeah. And like you walked right into the home
Yeah.
of Canada Day
Yeah,
as it was all
I
happening.
did.
And how old were you when you walked into that?
Was that?
How old were you
I was
when you
14
walked
years
into that?
old. Yeah, I was
Oh,
14
wow.
years old, and that means that my brother would have been 8, and we're both experiencing that together at the same time. It was mind blowing. Also, the amount of people that are there, and it's such a thing. And of course, like the usual tradition of Canada Day barbecue and all that stuff is a huge component of it too. But now, more than important, more than anything else, it's also an opportunity for us to reflect on what it means to be Canadian and the history of Canada, right? We talk about Indigenous experiences and that heritage that is a huge part, a component of our heritage here in Canada. And how do you address and assimilate that in a fashion that promote that really speaks of the Canadian identity, but also the responsibility that we take collectively in our history, in our past, and where we're going in the future. That part is very important too. And we do take the time to acknowledge it. We don't shy away from this conversation. It's important to all of us is we acknowledge that as part of our heritage. Right now, I'm talking to you from unceded Algonquin territory, and it's important for us to understand that every time that we celebrate, that part is also a huge part of what makes Canada Day so special.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds incredible.
Yeah.
So moving on to the city vibe and neighborhoods and those areas beyond Parliament Hill, what neighborhoods really show off Ottawa's personality?
We're talking about Canada in one city, right? You want to see diversity, you might want to go to Orleans, Ottawa East. We recently did a very nice tour of that region not too long ago. It is beautiful. We went to this beautiful Iranian coffee shop with traditional flavors, but also baking as well. That was really amazing. And then we went to a few chocolate trees, and it got to explore. Right now, as we're recording this, it's the fall is coming up pretty soon, right? So some of these neighborhoods have a little charm that gets added on as you add when you add on the fall colors to it. So that's pretty cool too. So I would say Orleans. I would say you want to visit our sister region in Gatineau. You want to go see the Gatineau Park, especially with the fall colors and all that stuff. You want to see Ottawa South and experience some of that as well. You want to see the diverse hipster, but yet very charming cultural hub that is Wellington West. And then if you want to grab some food and experience some of the culinary and artistic appeal of Westboro Village, there's also that too, right? So Ottawa is a very diverse region, and you're right. We go far beyond the Parliament Hill, far beyond the Byward Market, though they are key and amazing components of what makes the destination what it is, but we're proud of all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. So are there any places can you step away from the normal touristy trail things, experience Ottawa the way that the locals do?
Yeah, one thing I would tell you that here in Ottawa, we're the capital of shawarmas as well. We're the capital of the museum, but we're also the capital of shawarma. So one thing you want to do, especially if you're experiencing the nightlife in Ottawa, it's a tradition. Past a certain time, past midnight, if you're feeling hungry, if your stomach is asking you to pay attention, go grab a shawarma after midnight, mix it, chicken and beef, spicy garlic. It's an Ottawa tradition. And of course, during the day, you might want to stop by a beaver tail, which is we're not talking about an actual beaver tail. We're talking about a pastry, which is a specific dough with sugar and flavors on it. Traditional Ottawa dessert. Some of the stuff that go a little bit off the trail. We also are like I said earlier, we're the capital of the museum. And when you venture way past downtown, you will experience some very beautiful, unique museum experiences, like the Canadian Museum of Science and Technology, the Museum of Space and Aviation, or the Canadian Agriculture Museum. All these things are also part outside of the downtown region, and they give you the opportunity to sort of like go a little off the trail. You'll find some of that too. If you like nature, if you like some more outdoor stuff, we have a beautiful location called Tavern on the Falls. You also have their sister experiences, tavern on the hills, tavern on the gallery, and all that stuff. It requires you to walk a little within certain trails and to experience this beautiful scenery, this amazing experience too. So yeah, there's a few. Ottawa is a very walkable city, so a lot of that you'd have to walk around, take, go on the adventure, discover some of that for yourself, and you'll find it all very welcoming.
You mentioned shawarmas in there, and my wife absolutely loves shawarmas. I don't know where she got it from, but she absolutely loves shawarma.
Then
It's
what
one
you
of
have
her
to
favorite
do,
meals, actually, mate.
then you know what you have to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to bring her up there and come and get her a real
And I
shawarma
will
from the home of
and I
shawarmas.
will show you some of the best shawarma spots in the city. I promise you. I know them pretty well. I'm a shawarma. I'm an Ottawa and a shawarma connoisseur. So I take pride in it.
Fantastic. How would you describe like Ottawa's kind of vibe? Because it's obviously like the main critical city.
Yeah.
What else has it got going for it?
The vibe of Ottawa is Ontario. You'll find that if you ever visit Ontario, you go by North Bay or some of the different area, you'll notice a lot of small towns. And Ottawa is like the combination of a small town with all the infrastructures of a big city. In French, my dad would say, Ottawa, c'est une petite ville avec la mentalité d'une grande ville. It's a small city with a big city mentality. So you get the vibe. People will know each other. You'll see the mayor walking around and be willing to have conversation. We have an amazing mayor, by the way. Shout out Mark Sutcliffe, who will walk around and have conversations with the locals. You'll have the patios and all that small town charm, while at the same time you get to experience our national hockey team, the Ottawa Senators, right at the arena in Canada. You'll get to experience these huge concerts, these huge festivals, and all that kind of stuff. It's such a beautiful thing to experience, the comparison of the two. On top of that, yeah, I think that's what I would describe that. If you were to ask the vibe of Ottawa, what makes Ottawa unique is that you don't get to experience the charm of a small town and the appeal of the big city at the same time, all the time. So it's a very unique thing, and that's one thing I'm very proud of.
Yeah, that sounds cool. So let's deep dive a little bit more into Canada Day in the capital. Paint a picture. How does Ottawa feel like on Canada Day?
It's wild. It's beautiful. It's exciting. It's full. It's active. It's colorful. It's alive. It's alive. Honestly, it's beautiful to see how this city comes alive in such a fashion on Canada Day. It's also a day where people will, it's a holiday here, right? So people are in a good mood. For the most part, shout out to all the service workers who work on Canada Day. For the most part, people are having a very relaxed day. They're open to new experiences. People are friendly. People want to have conversation. People want to know where you're from. They'll have these special deals or these special services outside that specifically for Canada Day. All the things that most importantly, I'm one of the things I love the most in life are fireworks. I love fireworks, and our July 1st fireworks, pretty awesome too. So people will gather in their favorite locations to go see those fireworks. Make sure to catch the best Instagrammable angle. We can all share that experience. It's part of the human experience. That wanting to do that, and that's what I would say. Yeah, that's the vibe on Canada Day. It's exciting.
Talking about where the best experience or the best place to go to watch those fireworks, and where would you say that is?
I would say there's Major Hills Park is a big one because you get to see it. It's because of a specific view. You get to see the fireworks over the silhouette. It's nighttime, right? So you have the silhouette of the Parliament over the Ottawa, like looking over the Ottawa River, sorry. And then you have this light spectacle happening right over it. It's such a beautiful, if you're a photographer, it's such an iconic place to catch an award-winning photo if that's your cup of tea. On top of that, there's a few other locations. The bridge that leads to Gatineau, that's like right around it. That's another amazing spot to see it too. And for the most part, if you live downtown, for the most part, the comfort of your own backyard too. Some people have captured some amazing shots of the fireworks from their backyards. So if you're staying at a hotel downtown, like at Fairmont Chateau Laurier, let's say, or something like that, and if you're lucky enough to have a specific view, you might capture some iconic shots there too.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. Fire looks like a really big deal
Yeah.
for you, but what else is going on in Canada today? What can people expect?
So concerts, obviously, music from some of us,
Okay.
some of your Canadian favorites, some of your Indigenous favorites as well. You'll also experience some of Canada's marching bands as well. That will be one thing too. The snowbirds flying over Canada, flying over Ottawa. That's something that we're always waiting for whenever it happens. It's a beautiful, very majestic sight as well. What else happens? Also, I would say right downtown at the Byward Market, they'll have things like UFES happening where people come and they'll have those vintage sales happening, and those people from all around the world will walk through that market, and it becomes so alive with so many people. And again, like all these colors, everybody dressed in red and white and all that kind of stuff. That's another cool thing too.
Wow. Okay. That sounds
Yeah.
cool. Moving on now to the Indigenous culture and kind of deeper connections, because you were talking about that earlier. I want to explore that a little bit more with you. Ottawa has a really deep Indigenous history. What are the best ways then for people to be able to connect with that and learn about that?
One thing that you can do, and I recommend you to do, is to stop by Madaoki Farm in the south of Ottawa. It's an Indigenous rent program where they're raising and breeding the Ojibwa spirit horses, which is a breed of horses that is almost extinct, but they're running a breeding program to bring them back. And every time a new baby horse is born, it's a huge celebration here in the capital because it means that the experiment is working, right? So that's one. On top of that, if you come with a large group, you can experience a unique lunch or dinner that's prepared by Indigenous chef Billy Alexander. And while you're eating the food, he gives you the history of why Indigenous food is cooked a certain way and the deep history behind specific dishes and the importance of certain ingredients to Indigenous culture and the spirituality behind it too. On top of that, you can also experience Adawa Wigaming, which is located inside the Byward building in the Byward Market, which is where Indigenous items are sold, Indigenous made items. So sometimes it's if you're buying a dream catcher, was it actually made by Indigenous people? If not, that's cultural appropriation, right? So there's that too. And there's also many different festivals that happen throughout the year that highlight Indigenous culture here in Ottawa. So there's quite a few. And also, if you want to experience the depth of it too, I would say if you go to the Canadian Museum of History, even in the Arts Gallery, you'll see the contribution of Indigenous culture to Ottawa through history, even all the way down till now. They'll have those special exhibition. They'll take you through the history of time and show you the moments where Indigenous history changed and what it is about it the heritage of it. We're a northern country, but there's a reason why we learn how to adapt to the climate, right? That came from somewhere, right? So seeing how that directly impacted our livelihood to this day in ways that some people take for granted, it's very unique. It makes it very personal too. And yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, okay, awesome. So excuse my pronunciations here. I'm going to try and talk about the falls. Is it Chaudière Falls?
Chaudière.
Chaudière. Miles off.
No, you're close enough. Close enough.
So Chaudière Falls, it's a quite a sacred place there for Indigenous people, isn't it? With quite a powerful story. Can you briefly tell us about that story?
Yeah, Chaudière Falls, it's a sacred place that carries a very deep cultural and spiritual and historical significance to the Algonquin. Like I said, Ottawa is sitting on Algonquin territory, and for the Algonquin people, it's a site of ceremony, gathering, and reverence as well. It's not too far from downtown. It's about 20 to 25 minutes away from downtown, and whenever you go there, just remember that this is a very spiritual place with a lot of, like I said, a lot of significance, and have a moment to truly appreciate what this place has meant for an entire group of people. There's a depth to the understanding of it. And like I said, keep in mind, especially as you discover Canada, keep in mind that this is one of our key heritage. Indigenous culture is one of the key heritage that we have here. It's important to be, when you're there, be respectful, be kind, and take that moment to be understanding too.
Yeah, so best experienced by a tour, is it? So you've got somebody who can really explain that meaning to you and show you how to respect and engage with it?
Yeah, there's a little bit of both. We also have an experience here in Ottawa called Indigenous Walks. So it's where you get to walk through the Ottawa, some of the sorry, some of the historical sites in Ottawa that has the most Indigenous influence, but also how colonization, the colonial impact of that era over that history. And through that, through that experience, you'll get to learn about Indigenous culture, yes, but also you'll get a deeper and personal understanding in a way that you feel somewhat that you can relate to. You'll get to relate to that experience a lot, to that history, let's say specifically, because it's very well detailed, and the storytelling component of it is very unique, right? Like historically speaking, Indigenous culture is passed on orally, right? So that storytelling component is one of the things that adds a lot of charm to that.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to move on now. Look at the arts and food and beer, creativity, all that kind of fun stuff when we're out and about there. There's a lot more to Ottawa culture than just government
That's true.
buildings. Where should art and performance lovers start? Where should they head?
You want to stop by the National Arts Center located on Elgin Street to catch some of they have some very diverse program there. They have from local program to Indigenous programs to cultural relevant program, but also some international acts. That I'm a big fan of jazz, and sometimes they have some amazing school of jazz coming through and playing that too. Depending on the time of the year too, speaking of jazz, you can experience the Ottawa Jazz Fest. We're a city of festival. So the Ottawa Jazz Festival, Blues Fest, which attracts hundreds of thousands of people a year, to also some, if you're more of a visual arts lover, there's a National Arts Gallery that's also unique in its architecture. If you see these glass walls with the giant spider in the front, and you're wondering where that is, but all of that is intentional. And then we have a lot of free art galleries that you can stop by as well. The Ottawa's Art Gallery is one of them. We have a few art centers. We have the Ajagimo Gallery downstairs from where I work right now. That's another free art gallery too. Yeah, and we have some beautiful murals. If you go to on Bank Street, for example, there's this mural that was created by Andy from AK Arts, who makes these amazing pieces of digital arts that also translates very well when he makes it available to the public through that medium. You can see that mural right on Bank Street as well. So lots of, for all sort of arts. If you're a visual artist, if you like the theater, if you like cinema, there's the Bytown Cinema located right on Rideau Streets as well. That plays some iconic and sometimes not as well known, but some hidden gems of cinema from local films to independent films to pre-code film and international cinema. So whatever you're into, we have a dedicated medium for you to experience it through.
That's the end of part 1. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow for part 2.